welcome back to my series, The Art of Living. Today I'm going to be sharing just my perspectives and real live examples of timeline shifting and why it's important to wake up during our timeline shift, during our healing journey, on our personal spiritual self-development path. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because you all know that just journeyed to Mount Shasta. And so we've been, on the road for about 5 days, and we've been camping for another 7 days. And so we just checked into an Airbnb to kind of just ground. This journey has been very spiritual. It's been very triggering, and it's been so magical in all the ways. So we're just taking a few days to ourselves to kind of ground that information, ground all the things that we've been receiving. We've met so many magical people along the way. They've had messages for us. So a lot of information has been gathered in just the week that we've been here. So we're just landing, integrating all that information. So sometimes, and this is a really good point I'll just share, is that sometimes when you're on your spiritual path and you're on your awakening path, you want to take it at your speed because the universe is working in all these different ways. And so sometimes all this stuff is coming at you and it can be a lot to process. So we want to honor the humanness of us. We want to acknowledge, because the human can only go so far. So you could be getting all this information on your spiritual path, but the human side is being triggered, or there's things that are coming up that need to be dealt with. So it's kind of a balance trick. You have to find your own balance with it. So we were like, okay, we've been up at the campsite on the beautiful vortex of Mount Shasta, and that was the camping trip itself already was presenting its own things, and then the mountain herself with all her vortex and energies has been presenting itself. So we're like, whoa, okay, time to take a step back. So here we are. That's where I'm at now in a beautiful Airbnb, and we're just so grateful to be in this space right now. So I was like, I'm going to pop on and do an episode. But so waking up, so that's what kind of I feel like has been coming up for me in my journey, is that I'm timeline shifting myself into another place. So we're in Mount Shasta from Florida, and now I've got to really wake up during this time because a lot of messages are coming in from the universe. I'm meeting people, and I really have to be aware of myself, what's going on, and where I'm being directed. So it takes an amount of consciousness and, responsibility. But we've just had so many messages come in that we're supposed to be at this place at a certain time. So something happens, and we have to now be able to function in that. So a big download I got for myself was being able to manage when the universe is giving you a nudge. There's this energy. It could be emotions. You could feel anger, frustration, joy, sadness, whatever could be nudging you. And so we want to be able to manage those emotions that are coming up without them escalating too far. Because I feel like, and as I've said before, our emotions are what are kind of guiding us. They're a map to this earth experience. And they're there to potentially highlight something that I need to tune into. So tuning into emotions, being aware, being awake to them, being willing to see why they're really there, and not just to be like, oh, I'm angry, but why is the anger showing up? Is there something that I need to? And it's always looking at it for, my best good. Why is anger showing up? It's here to teach me something. It's not here because I don't want to. Maybe I don't like it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have a message or some kind of lesson for me. So, it kind of becomes like a little video game with your emotions. Like, what is this emotion highlighting for me, and what do I need to look at? Even, anxiety, different emotions that come on, fears, those are all there highlighting something for you and directing you to your next step. So it's been a whirlwind. There's been some heightened emotions. There's been feelings that are coming up that are all leading, in my opinion, leading me somewhere that I need to focus on. So that's been huge. So the big takeaway there is, learning from your emotions and managing them so they don't go into outbursts or different types of things, but they're absolutely there for a reason. And it's usually for our best good. So it's usually there highlighting something that is coming up. So I think, that's one personal part of being awake during your timeline journey, being so aware of what's going on and everything coming up, and just taking space and time to integrate those things. Secondly, the whole reason I'm doing this journey, and I had a huge download, we met a magical person at Mount Shasta at a cafe, and basically, why we're doing all of this is to wake up to the certain idea that the world is changing. There is a shift going on in the world that is basically trying to highlight stuff for us so that we can see the reality of the real world. And so I've been on my awakening journey now for 5+ years, waking up to different truths about the world. Like, I've always known, like, media is not the way that it says, and I've had my concerns, and so I've kind of left that. Politics, different things have led me into different places, but I'm starting to see the face value of what this system really looks like in different ways. And so as a spiritual person, or as a person on my own journey to freedom, liberation from suffering, different things. So all of this, we can wake up to it or not, and we can see it if we want. But really, my idea and what I believe is that, this world is in a deep state of suffering. We all have a story. We've been in some kind of state that just doesn't feel aligned. We know something there is more for us. We know that there's an experience that we're looking for, which is why I call this the new earth, is that, on a larger scale, on a humanitarian scale, that we are waking up to the idea of a better place of living, to a better place for all humans. So where people's lives are more beautiful, more magical, more loving, more abundant, instead of us like playing into the system. So I feel like we've all at one point had a feeling of like, is this really all there is? I know I've come to that, and I've, always been like anti-institution. I've always had an issue with people like, work, like we work as managers and higher ups, and you're always working for somebody else and you're giving them your genius for their company. And it's like, how much more could I be giving my genius to my own job, my own businesses, my own families, my own life? So that was like the first big wake up call, is like, leaving my corporate job, because I'm waking up to the fact that I don't want to be giving all my beautiful energy to another business who's making money off of me, and I'm not really seeing the total abundance that I'm searching for in that agreement. So I left that and I said, I'm gonna chance it on my own, and I'm gonna do something that's, I feel, is positively benefiting others. Energy work has changed my life. Becoming my own self-master has changed my life and has given me more opportunities to experience, I think, what it is we've all been searching for, which is just beyond what was handed to us, what was told to us, beyond the normal level of things where it's like, this is the 9 to 5 is all you get, this paycheck is all you get, these are the only experiences you're allowed to, and we're kind of plopped into different things. And waking up to that concept, and then, or enhancing the beautiful life that you already have. If you're already in that place where, you've created the life that you want, you're living in alignment, and just expanding that alignment, expanding that energy for yourself. And so all of these concepts really work at any level that we're in. And if we need to change that level, if we want to up level in some kind of way, if we want to, take a side quest over to some kind of way. But there is immense freedom in living like this. And so I can say at the end of leaving the corporate job and being on my own, while there are challenges, there's a deep sense, and I'm so grateful for this, of freedom and liberation, that I'm living on life on my own terms. And that's how I believe it should be. I don't believe that some institution, some program or label should be saying you need to act this way, respond this way, live like this, make this much money, whatever the parameters are that they've been given to us. Now we're living outside of that. But I think it should always be done in the respect of all beings. This is done to respect of others. As we start to live in service to self, we live in service to others. So there's always going to be reciprocity. It's a beautiful relationship. And then we start being better people. Isn't that really what it's all about? Is becoming better humans. We all know what the state of their earth is. Like, there's global warming, there's fires, there's a lot of natural disaster going on. And I'm not a doomsday person, so I'm not bringing that up at all for that reason. But I think it is good to note that, like, hey, our oceans are dirty. Like, how many times are we going to keep seeing the same information before we start to look inward and say, what is on a inward journey level that I can start doing? Because that's really what I feel like we can do right now. Everybody can become a better person right now. There's nothing holding us back from starting to shift our awareness from, deep self-love to deep self-love of others to deep self-love of planet. So all of us have that ability. And I'm not like, I don't think that there's any other option. We all have to start to collectively coming together and, changing what we can. So, what I do on my level is going to be the energy work, how to get people and myself into a more loving vibration so that we can make larger changes overall. And this might be a slow process. I get it. Like it might not be overnight, and it might be beyond my lifetime and others' lifetime. So, but it's just thinking about these things. So there's all kinds of works, but I always believe that, starting right now, if you're like, well, that sounds like a crazy journey, I can't commit to that. Just commit to yourself and commit to your own self-love journey, raising your own vibration. And that is in itself going to ripple effect over. So when you start taking care of yourself, you start taking care of your kids differently. You teach them these things. And that's another thing, is teaching, our children self-care and how to self-love, because, maybe we didn't grow up in loving environments. Maybe, our parents didn't show us that, or whatever, however it played out. We can all say we've had some kind of experience where maybe we didn't feel the most love that we could, but we have an opportunity to shift that, change it up, to wake up to the fact that we all individually can impact our lives and others, and on a larger level. So that's kind of been my download, to waking up to timeline, why we do all this inner work, why are we really doing it, and creating just a beautiful purpose, for being here. And like I said, it doesn't mean we're not going to manifest all of our dreams, because I feel like our dreams bring us in a vibration that is really high and it's full of love. So really just deciding what path you're on, what does it look like, having, how does your purpose fit into all of this, and all this work. So that's the episode for today, guys. Kind of my thoughts and downloads. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like and share this if you feel led, or this might benefit someone else out there. But I will see you guys next episode.
Are you ready to fly?